beautiful humans, and welcome to episode 2 of Small Business Diaries. If you're new here, my name is Omatola and I'm the founder of Bon Femme. Bon Femme is a shop featuring art, decor, jewelry, and so much more, all from women-owned brands. We're jumping right in this month with my favorite activity, opening presents to sell to my people. I was super excited to receive this package because I follow the artist Radia Rahman for a while now, and I'm so excited to have her items in my store. And now I'm going to take you behind the scenes of a photo shoot for the Bon Femme candles. As you can tell, this was a very legit photo shoot with a very high budget. Just kidding, the budget was actually $0 and all the props were in the shop or from my apartment because we are thrifty here at Bon Femme. To create the scene for candle number 3, I used a pink velvet tablecloth and roses from the grocery store. For the backdrop for candle number 2, we taped a skirt to the wall, used jewelry and glassware from the shop to set the scene, and added a disco ball because why not? It was a super fun shoot and I got to do some hand modeling, which is always exciting. It's kind of wild though because you don't realize how hard it is to keep your hands still until you have to keep them still for a photograph. It's near impossible. Later that day, I received more presents from Kai and Joe, some restocks and newness. Then the sun came out, so I did what anyone would do in my position. I played with the disco ball for about 10 minutes because priorities. Towards the end of the week, I did receive more presents, and you might be thinking, she is getting a lot of presents this week and it's starting to get suspicious. Well, don't you worry. There's a reason. It's Women's History Month and I have 2 markets, so I have to bulk up on my inventory so I don't run out of things to sell. The first market was a Women's Day market at Artifact Events. It was a fun time and it was so great seeing familiar faces and meeting so many new friends. Now it's time to talk about food. If you're in Chicago, I highly recommend stopping at La Crêperie. They have a very cool ambiance and the food is very, very good. The second market of the month is Planet Her, which is organized by Refined Collective, and they were kind enough to collaborate with Lululemon on this amazing event. It started with a super relaxing sound bath, then we moved to the next room to enjoy a panel of speakers, and ended with some good old mingling and networking. And now it's time for a craft break, my friends. It's very important for me to spend time creating something that has absolutely nothing to do with the shop. I decided it was time to continue working on this pro top that I started last year. I was so close to finishing, but sadly, I ran out of beads. I'll let you know if I ever complete this top. While working on the top, a wonderful package arrived. The new postcards to include in my wholesale orders, as well as the new Bon Femme card collection. It's always nerve-wracking receiving the first batch of new designs because it's usually when I see issues with coloring or cut lines. Most of these did turn out perfect, but a few need to be altered just a wee bit. And now I get to do one of my favorite things, organize them and put them in their bags. As a small business owner, I have a never-ending list of things to do, so sometimes it's really nice to do mindless things like this. Later in the month, I hosted Jean, the founder of Tangerine Studios, in my shop for a pop-up. I had so much fun chatting with Jean about all things sewing and life in general. Please check out Tangerine Studios on Instagram to follow Jean's journey and learn more about her. This week was especially exciting because I was dog sitting and had so much fun watching this cutie. She loves sunbathing in the shop and inspecting everyone who comes in because this is her shop, not mine. I was not looking forward to taking down this display because I thought it was going to be super time consuming, and it actually wasn't. I was happy to have light coming into the shop again. I replaced it with these giant flowers that I'm absolutely obsessed with. And now it's time for the second market of the month. This was my first time vending at a market in the Chicago Athletic Association and thought it was a very cute venue. I had to set up the night before because I had to be back in the morning for a short interview on WGN. I was only on air for about 3 seconds, but it was probably the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever done. Then I had to leave right away to open up the shop, then head back as soon as the shop closed because it was time for the market. The setup for this market was so cool. It took place on 2 floors, and I love when I have a moment to catch up with other vendors right before a market starts because it's the only time we'll have to do that. The turnout for this market was absolutely amazing. There were so many cool customers, and I cannot wait for the next Refined Collective market. This was a very busy week because I had my friend Sophia popping up in the store the very next day after the market. Sophia is one of my favorite humans as well as one of my favorite tattoo artists. While we were talking, she was working on sketches for upcoming tattoos, and it was so cool to watch these designs being created. While she worked, I decided it was time for me to re-merch the store again, and it was actually quite helpful to have her provide her opinions while I made these changes. I was feeling super motivated from my conversations with Sophia, so I continued re-merching and cleaning up the store the next day. After a tiring weekend, I decided to make time for one of my favorite activities, frame shopping for the shop at Village Discount. It's always a hit or a miss. Sometimes I leave with nothing, sometimes I find too many things and can't take them home. However, this was a good day because I found a few good options. I also always take a look around in the home section as well because sometimes I find good stuff there for merchandising. I finally stopped at a vintage store I always walk by called Shangri-La. It was so freaking cute in there. There were many things I wanted but had no room for in my home or the shop. I did leave with a vintage catalog as well as a house and garden issue from the 70s. More on that later. I'm very happy with my new frames, and you get to see what I did with these in the next video. The catalog was super fun, and I definitely want to create some collages from some of these images, but I don't want to cut into these, so a little bit of a dilemma there. The house and garden was interesting. It was all fun and games until I realized how weird the ads were at this time. Anywho's, thank you so much for watching this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed what you saw. See you in the next one, cool human.